What is up, everybody? It's Joe from JLW Games coming at you with another cool video. Back in Planet Coaster 2 content, today we're going to be talking about the Coaster Builder and my wish list for everything that I want the Coaster Builder to have in Planet Coaster 2. So there could be things that I'm missing out here, and if there are any features that you want that I didn't mention, please let me know in the comment section below. I'm also going to be mentioning stuff that may have already been confirmed, so I will let you know if it's been confirmed or not. A lot of these things have not, though, so let's get right into it. The first thing I'm going to talk about is different little things that we can do in the Coaster Builder, and that's going to be switch tracks, drop tracks, and transfer tracks. So supposedly drop tracks have already been confirmed in a Q&A, so that is one thing checked off the list, which makes me more hopeful for switch tracks and transfer tracks to also be in the game, because if drop tracks are in the game, then I'd imagine the other two would be as well. So I'd love to see switch tracks in the game and also swing launches alongside that. So I feel like this is something we're definitely going to get into the game for sure. And with drop tracks being confirmed, I feel like transfer and switch tracks would also be in there. At least switch tracks. I'm not sure too much about transfer tracks, but I would love to have the ability to do transfer tracks as well. Where you can actually do like a transfer tracks, not necessarily for like adding and removing trains, just part of the ride experience as well, where you can add a part of or a section of track that actually moves left or right, and you can adjust how far or where it goes, even up and down. I think that'd be actually really cool. So I could create something, say like Powder Keg at Silver Dollar City, that has that transfer track that kind of moves at an angle too. So that'd be an awesome option to be able to do stuff like that. And so, yeah, I think these things are going to make it into the game, at least switch tracks and drop tracks for sure. I'm not sure about transfer tracks, probably not, but at least switch tracks and swing launches as well, going along with that, so we could make something like Top Thrill 2 as well, and, you know, with the swing launch mechanism as well. Next, we're going to talk about Heartlining, and this is something that that is very heavily requested into the game. Basically, there's a way you can do some Heartlining in Planet Coaster 1 by doing the offset option that you can do, and you can choose how aggressive that offset is on your track. But when you smooth it out, it does try to get rid of that slight Heartlining. So I'm hoping that the smoothing does not get rid of that, or if there's a Heartline option, that'd be great, that you could just check mark. That way you can have it on or off. So if you want Heartlining in your coaster, as soon as you do any like bank turns or turns, it is going to import or use that Heartlining feature as well. And when you smooth it out, it will keep the Heartlining in place. So that's something that I think is very doable, that you can turn on and off with a little checkbox, because not all coasters have Heartlining, especially the older rides, like those older aero coasters and stuff. So definitely have the option to turn it on and off, because if I'm trying to create an older aero style coaster, I definitely don't want to have Heartlining, because back then that wasn't a thing. So Heartlining is very important when it comes to coaster smoothing. And hopefully that will have some sort of option, and when we do smooth it, it does keep that Heartlining in place. So that's something that I definitely want to see in the Coaster Builder, at least for sure. And I'm sure you guys all want to, as well, as it is a very heavily requested feature for Planet Coaster 2. And anyways, let's head on to the next one, and that is the ability to use anything on each coaster type. So when I say something like this, I mean like if we have switch tracks, drop tracks, stuff like that, like I mentioned previously, being able to use those on any coaster type in the game and not being limited to just one or two coaster types. And I haven't seen too many people talk about this, because it's very important to be able to have the ability to do it on all coaster types and not just a few. So I'd like to be able to do it, say, on the B&M models or the RMC models, you know, because just having that customization is very huge, because you never know. What if an RMC for some reason has a drop track or switch track? I want to be able to import that and you be able to do that right away with any of the coaster types, and and such. I think it'd be kind of cool if there was an option, because I can understand maybe for like scenarios you wouldn't want to be able to do everything on one coaster type. Maybe if there was something in the settings where you can turn on and off, being able to do everything on each coaster type. And this is also going to be talking about launches and lifts on every coaster type as well. So if I want to put a launch on something that doesn't normally have a launch, I should be able to do that. I shouldn't need a mod for that like we do now. So we do currently have a mod in Planet Coaster 1 that allows us to do launch and lifts on all the coasters. So that'd be very nice to have. And then some of the coasters on that mod don't have track pieces for it, so it's invisible, but yeah, you can like retrace it with tracks, so it looks like the track's actually there. But not going too far into that, but like I think we should have the ability to do launches and lifts on every single coaster. That way we can really have that customization that we need. So basically just allow us to have customization. If we're in a sandbox or scenario editor or something like that, allow us to really be able to customize that feature. And if you're in a scenario, you can either restrict having that available on all the trains or not. But if you're in sandbox mode, I think it should automatically be enabled, where we can use any sort of part in the coaster builder on all of our trains, on all of the coaster types, no trains. And then the next point I have here is unload stations. Being able to have the ability to have multiple stations on coasters would be such a nice feature, because you were able to do it in previous Roller Coaster Tycoon games. Therefore, and it is starting to become very common for coasters, of course, to have a separate unload and load area for their sections as well. So I think there should be, it shouldn't just be like two separate stations. I think there should be an unload option and a load option, or three options. You have a load and an unload. So if you put in a load, you have to put in an unload station as well. Or you can have just the one where you unload and load in the same spot. Because obviously we still want that option as well. But a lot of coasters do have an unload station where they unload the guests in a different spot to help with efficiency. So if you're sitting on a brake run, instead of sitting on a brake run, you could just be getting off the ride. So that could be a thing. I think that would be very, very cool to have, and it's very heavily requested as well. And make it available again on all coaster types, not just one or two. Just like make it available where you can do this on all your rides, and that's not even one I don't think that needs to be restricted. You can put it on anything as well. So next we're going to talk about some train swapping, something we could do in Planet Coaster 1, and with the mod we were able to do it with a lot more intensely. But being able to switch the trains on any of the tracks would be awesome. And I understand, again, not all of the trains will fit on all the different track types. So I know there's a little bit of limitation there. But again, with the mod, it didn't matter. We could just put anything what we wanted on there, which I still kind of preferred, honestly. But I still hope there's a lot of train swapping options where we can put any of the trains on any of the tracks. At least a good amount anyways. So if I have like a B&M track, I could put any of the B&M trains on there if I wanted to. Same with like Intamin, or if the train would fit, you know, and if the wheel assembly would fit on that particular track, it is available to go on that track type. So I can understand, like, as long as they bring that back from Planet Coaster 1, I'd be pretty happy. So anyways, another cool thing I would like to see is operator booth placement, to be able to place the operator's booth wherever we want, and it doesn't even have to be nearby the station. So I think it should be its own little scenery piece that connects to your coasters, and be able to, so like you have your checklist, right, of like entrance, exit, and also put a operator booth option where we can place the operator booth anywhere. I would love to be able to do like a booth that goes over the track. You see that a lot on like the B&M flying coasters, where your operator's booth is actually above the track and a little booth above, which is really cool. And being able to place it anywhere on the right side or left side of my track, you know, just having that flexibility and customization to be able to place it anywhere that I want would be a very nice option to have. Will this make it into the game? I don't know, but we'll have to wait and see, of course. And then, of course, my last one of my last things is smoothing upgrades. I'd love to obviously see, you know, a lot of people would like to see an upgrade in the smoothing tool. And again, just kind of going back to Heartlining, that it doesn't get rid of the Heartlining. And I have heard that the coaster train or the coaster cam is a lot smoother now. I think a lot of Planet Coaster's One's issues with smoothing was it was mostly the camera on the train. Even if you got it smooth, you could really see the transitions between the pieces. And I feel like, and I've heard that that's been pretty much fixed now. So I think it was more of a camera issue more so than a smoothing issue. But when it comes to smoothing, again, I don't want my Heartlining to get removed from my coaster as well. So if they can figure that out, that would be 100% a huge upgrade. But it sounds like that the coaster cams have been fixed for the most part in Planet Coaster 2. From what I heard from the other content creators that got to see some of the gameplay, they said the coaster cam was way smoother than Planet Coaster 1, so that's really good to hear and see as well. Another, just like a small thing that I think would be awesome, it's not really part of the coaster builder, but I'm going to throw it in here, is to actually have staffing for the dock that actually check the restraints on the ride. They actually go in and actually check the restraints, and it would be a little more realistic management wise, and you would have to pay more ride operators. So like as for a simulation management, it would actually make a little bit more sense as well for in that regards. But anyways, what would you guys like to see in the current coaster builder for Planet Coaster 2? Hopefully we'll get to see a lot of the coaster builder on the 31st when they reveal their first bit of gameplay, and we might get a lot of answers to that. Hopefully we do. But I would love to hear if there's anything that I missed that you guys would like to see in there as well. Leave a comment in the comment section below of what you would like to see in the coaster builder. That way I can hear your guys' opinions and also your wish list as well of what you want to see in the coaster builder. Again, the only thing that was really confirmed in here was the drop tracks. Customizing trains also has been confirmed, so we can actually attach scenery pieces. In case you didn't know that information, we are going to be able to attach scenery pieces to the coaster trains as well. I didn't really mention it because it's already a confirmed feature, but so was drop tracks, but I kind of mixed it in there with the switch tracks and transfer tracks, which have not been confirmed. So but yeah, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comment section below, and I will catch you guys in the next Planet Coaster 2 video, and hopefully we'll be reacting to that gameplay here soon on the 31st, so you'll be sure you are there for that, because I'm going to be live streaming my full reaction to that gameplay, and have my thoughts in later in a video afterwards. So anyways, I will see you guys in the next video, so make sure you have a great day and cool tomorrow. Thanks so much, and goodbye.